Live from our studios, just steps from the fabulous Las Vegas Strip, it's the Business Lounge with your host, David Wright.
Hi, I'm your host, David Wright, and welcome to the Business Lounge, where we talk to real people about real business and real success. With me today, I have John Pinnington. John is the founder of AA Printing Services here in the Las Vegas Valley. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dave, for having me.
You may notice that there's a slight accent in your voice. So I will assume that you're not originally from the Las Vegas area.
Well, you assumed correctly. I was born in Belize, and family was military. And I moved to England when I was 10 years old, and did the military service myself there, and moved to Vegas, LA, Los Angeles actually, in 1998.
Okay, so you were in the service for, how long were you in the service?
I was 10 years.
About 10 years in the service. And so you went to LA. What brought you to the States?
Well, I finished the service. I reached the rank of sergeant, which is my goal was to get there. And then I went into the bodyguard service and doing bodyguard works in London, which brought me to Los Angeles. I started doing security for celebrities and, diplomats that came to town. And that also brought me to Vegas. That's what I was doing here for a while.
Okay, so you would protect people, whether they be in the military, whether they be a celebrity, whether they be a politician here in the Las Vegas area. Yeah. How did you find that job? What type of environment is that? Because I'm sure people see the James Bond movies or bodyguards on TV, and it's probably nothing like that.
No, no, it's not. No, but but the military background, it takes you to that It takes you in that direction. And that's what it is, because you're looking for something that keeps you switched on every day, keeps you alert, and that was the drive that you get from the military. So going into the bodyguard service, it's a job that you have to be alert every day, and it's the excitement of it. So it's not like the Secret Service stuff. I mean, double James Bond and all that. No, it's a boring job, but it's a high-stress job as well. Right,
because you always have to be alert to potential threats for your clients. So you're always looking out in the audience and trying to figure out what's going on and who's approaching, who's leaving.
Right, that's where the stress comes in every day, because it's a thing where you leave your house every day thinking this could be your last day. And that's enough thing to stress you. But yeah, it is to make sure your clients stay safe, and they don't realize that they do their job, that's your job. It's just on every day, it's the same thing every day,
So you are the founder and the CEO of AA Printing here in the Las Vegas area. How did you transition from the military to basically, I'll call it protective service, to running your own shop here in Las Vegas?
A lot of people ask that. Well, I finished the job. It was in 2008. I was in Hawaii with my client, and I was sitting on the beach, and I went, I'm done. I just decided I was done. And I came back, I finished, I took some time off, and I started looking for something to do, which I got into multi-level marketing, which was popular in this town, or still is. And I needed some printing done, but everyone kept telling me 4 to 5 days, which I needed the next day for a networking event, because again, this town is built on networking. So I researched for same-day printing. I found one company here. I asked him, I went down and met with him, I asked him how he did it, and we sat there from 4 p.m. till midnight talking about digital printing. I Googled it, found there was a niche. I went back to him and I said, I will help you build your company, basically. But then I found out the way he worked was not the way I wanted to work. Etiquette-wise, he was late, quality-wise, service. It's not me. Because my job, military as well, has helped me built me discipline, showed me how to get things done the right way. And I didn't feel he was up to that standard, so I moved out on my own. And I was fortunate to get a shop. The funny thing about it is the same shop that he was in, he lost his business 4 months later. They came in and took his machine, everything. So 10 months later, I decided to go back there and rent the same shop that he had. And with $4,500, I went in and I opened that shop. And I prayed every day I would get business. But also, I've never really touched a machine. So I hired somebody to come in and do that for me. And I went out and sell because I know quality, I know service, and I know sales. And that's what this town needs, is good quality customer service. And that's what I provided.
You touched on an interesting point there. So people who are looking to get into a business or to open a shop or a store or whatever may think that they need to know everything about everything and do everything themselves. But you took a route that I think a lot of people wouldn't consider, and that was you hired employees right out of the gate. How did that benefit you? What was the benefit in doing that?
Well, anyone who tries to do everything themselves is going to fail. Sorry to say, I don't like using that term, but you cannot do everything, and I've learned that. And I learned it from the military because I wanted to do everything myself in the military until I learned to trust my men to do what they were supposed to do. And I brought that same concept here. I have Jimmy, who's very good at operating a machine. He came in. I told him, Jimmy, I don't have no money to pay you right now. And he said, John, I'll help you. And that was the first stage. I had a bookkeeper who came in, and she was, because I know I'm not very good at doing no bookkeeping, so I hired her. 6 months later, I got an intern graphic designer. And I told him, if you give me a year, I'll bring you on full time. And Jimmy, Lydia, and Peter started with me. And they're 4.5 years later, they're still with me now. Because they do what they're supposed to do. My job is to bring the business in. Their job is to make sure the shop runs. I do have a front desk person now. Her job is to make sure the customers are happy, take care of the business. So everybody has a job in the shop. Some people can help. If one person's out, the other person will take over. But if I let them know from the start that you're part of a team. If you don't turn up to work, you're letting the whole team down. And 4.5 years, I have not had my employees take a day off saying they're sick because they know they're part of a team. And our shop is a very fast-paced shop because we do same-day printing service, you know, so.
Okay, look, you know, in listening to you, I notice sometimes that the CEO or the owner of the company forgets what their primary role is. And you touched on the key to success when you said, my job is to bring the business in. So how do you go about bringing that business into your shop? What are like 3 things that you do on a daily basis to expand your business or your market?
Well, first thing I do, if I go to a morning breakfast event for small business, I would go there and I would network. A chamber event, I would go there. I then go to my shop to make sure everybody's set up, all the supplies are in, because my job is to make sure they have everything they need to make sure the shop runs. So I go in, I make sure they have everything. I go to luncheons, chamber luncheons. I go to networking events at night. So I could leave my house at 6:30 in the morning. I don't get home till 11:30 at night. So I'm working all day and I work all night. But that's my job. So those are the 3 things: breakfast meeting, luncheons, and network events. There's always those 3 events going on every day in this town. And if you're a small business owner, you need to be at one of them. Simple as that. I've joined every chamber in this town to make sure that they know who I am. That's why we've been fortunate as a small business in the 4.5 years. We've won awards from every single chambers in this town because I'm out there every day. And as a business owner, you have to. It's not a 9-to-5 job. Like today is Veteran Day. My employees are off. I'm in my shop right now printing. My machine's running right now, but I made sure I came here to sit with you, and I'm going to rush right back there and work again. That's what a business owner's got to do to make sure his shop is a success.
You had said that you had gotten a number of awards, and I was at one of the award luncheons that you were talking about just recently for the Las Vegas Metro Chamber.
That's right.
Talk about that award. What did that award mean to you, and what was that award that you had received?
Well, all the awards that we've won, it means a lot to me because the work that I'm putting in, that's saying to me, John, you're getting recognized for what you're doing. Because like the Metro Chamber, they have over 6,000 members. To be in the top 3 of this award, which is called a Trailblazer, which is for small business who have given back to the community. I try and give back as much as I can because it's a community that's been supporting me. So every opportunity I get, I try and support a nonprofit organization, I try and support small business owner, and I try and support the small business who are just started. Because I know what it's like to start. with nothing. I've had people come in and I've printed stuff for them. Not that I'm going to do this for everybody, but certain people I print for free because I see that they're trying and they want to make it. But those are the people that I keep for customers for a long time, and I help them along the way. So by getting recognized by these chambers, it means a lot to me because it means that the work that I'm putting in is actually getting paid off.
You talked or touched on quality as one of the focuses that you have. And I've seen a lot of times, in fact, I won't mention the company, but I had a negative experience here in town where I had some postcards printed up. The top postcards, my bad, but the top postcards were excellent. But what they did is they buried the bad ones inside the bundle. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when I got home, I went back and went, really? And they had cut off some of the printing and labeling that. And so I went back, and the person was like, "Are you sure that you had those printed here?" was the first comment. And I was like, "Okay, we're done with this. You're just going to refund all of my money, get the store manager." But it was a very negative experience. So I've experienced some of the lack of quality. Talk to me about how you ensure your people are pointed towards quality.
Well, that's the first thing, one of the first things I talked to my employees about. I said, I don't want anything going out of here that is not double checked. Quality, customer service, and I said to them, we're going to go above and beyond. And you could ask them this. I spoke to them about it, and I said, we go above and beyond to take care of any of our customers. We make everybody feel special in here, and you treat them all like $1 million when they come in, no matter who they are. And that's what we work on. That's just the customers. The quality is checked when it's printed. If you see a text that's blurred, you see something, we don't have to check the spelling, or we don't have to check the artwork, but we do, because other printers won't do that. But we do, and we send it back to the customer and say, you know what, this is not printable. And they'll appreciate that. We said there's a spelling mistake here. For a big event, we'll still catch it. And there's some big organizations that miss it, but we catch it. So we take the time out. My graphic designer, when it comes in, he checks it. He then sends it to Jimmy, my operator. He then checks it. We'll print it, the first sheet, we'll check it, make sure the quality is good, and we run it after that. Now, there is some time that the machine will put a streak in it or dots or something. There is times that we've missed it. Our customer will pick it up, and they missed it. It happens. I mean, Peter has missed certain things when we first started, because this was new to all of us. And he cost me a lot. I told him he's going to be the death of me one day because he cost me so much money. But I took the time out, and this is something that business owners got to understand too. You don't just fire your employees when they mess up 1 or 2 times, because that means you're not doing your job. And Peter has taught me how to be a better leader in my business by coaching him and training him the way I want him, with the standard that I'm looking for. And that's what all my employees are now. They've been trained to my standard. And if it doesn't look good, they'll tell me. If I'm busy and I go, you know what, just take care of it, they'll go, John, I'll reprint it. I've reprinted over 5,000 business cards. Whatever it is, the customer comes in, like you came back and say, hey, these didn't look right. I say, no problem. We'll reprint them. Done. We don't argue about it. I guarantee and I stand by my product. So if you're not happy with something, we'll reprint it. And my customers know that. You know, even sometime when they make the mistakes, I'll say, you know what? It's your call. You made the call. You signed it off, but I'll reprint it for you. Because I'd rather lose a little bit now than lose a customer forever. And that's what business need to look at as well. Don't look at the short term. Look at the long term. Because if you make this customer happy now, not all of them is going to be loyal. They'll probably find somebody who's cheaper down the road and then decide, oh, I'm going to go there. But if your service is good, I guarantee they'll come back.
You know, I recently understood, or I had an opportunity to have things printed by your shop, and the shop did an outstanding job. And what I learned is you do every door delivery as well. You have a process by which you can do direct mail or bulk mail out of your facility. So you really are a full service printer. Talk to me about that end of your business a little bit.
We are a one-stop shop for everything. On one side of the shop, we have the digital printing that we can do same day. On the other side of the shop, we have a large format that we could do banners, posters, foam boards, and we could do same day. That is our niche. In the back, we have the mailing system. So we could do everyday direct mail. We could do bulk mail. We have all the stamps for it. And the thing is, people could use our stamp if they want to keep the cost down. And it is better to do that than going out trying to mail it yourself, unless you have your own stamp. But those are things that we can do. And we do them a lot faster than every other company as well. Because if someone was to pick up the phone and say, John, I need this, like it happens every day. I don't understand. People could plan for a year for their event and then call me on the day saying, John, our event is tomorrow.
I need this.
Can you print me 500 magazines by tomorrow? And you know what we do at our shop? We go, yes, we can. Because I will stay in my shop all night long and I will print those magazines and have my employee come in a day and cut them down for me or whatever. I'm the night guy. Whatever, as a business owner, if I need to be there all night, I'll be there all night. And I've done it several times to get the jobs done.
It sounds like your business is extremely successful the way it is. Where do you and AA Printing go from here? What are your plans for the future?
Well, right now, because we have all three departments entity in one shop, the large format department is going to be moving into a warehouse next year where we could do, because we do car wraps, but we don't have the space for it right now. We are going to invest in larger machines so that we could do more turnover, because we are going to be a lot busier next year. That's my projection already. So we're going to do that. And then eventually for our customers on the far side of town who has to drive all the way over here, it takes them about 40 minutes, which is, it amazes me that they do that. But we want to open a shop over that side of town to save those customers driving all the way down here as well. So we're looking at getting one more print shop and one more warehouse for my large format department.
If you were going to talk to a person, any person, a young person, an old person, anybody that's looking to get in business, what would be the top two things that they need to understand before that door opens?
Well, I do. I do go to certain schools and talk to kids about this. And we look at young entrepreneurs, which is something I want to get into next year, is to talk to the young entrepreneurs to let them know, because we all have a dream that we want to open our own business. That dream might not be the exact thing that you're going to open. But if you really want to be an entrepreneur, you can be an entrepreneur. But you got to want it. It's not something you say, well, I want to have my own business so I could look flash and buy new cars. Because believe me, entrepreneurs and business owners are the most broke people out there, okay? So the cars and the boats and all that doesn't come for years down the road if you put the hours in. So you got to make up your mind whether you really want it. And you got to have a standard about you. You cannot accept and decide that we'll go with this quality-wise, because customer service, quality, I keep bringing that up, are the main things that people want, and not everybody has that. That's the problem, because I've met some of the small business owners that do certain things that don't fit within that. But now my main thing is you got to want it. You really do. I could tell you a couple of things about me starting my business, because I started with $4,500, so I was surviving day by day, which means my house had to suffer. I lost both my properties while I was starting this business. I was going out on an appointment, and my alarm went off, and I went back and found a constable outside my house telling me that they're seizing my house. I then called my attorney. He said, there's nothing you can do. And this is personal stuff, but I don't mind telling this because they got to understand there's not always the good stuff about it. And he said, there's nothing we could do. I said, okay. So I went to my next appointment, and I carried on doing my job like nothing happened until after 6 o'clock, when my shop was closed, is when I realized I was homeless. So you got to be able to set your mind and say, this is what I really want. I mean, there's a lot more goes into this story, but you got to have to really, really want it. So if you're going to say, I want to open my business, make up your mind and say, I'm going to go no matter what. No matter what. If I have to sleep in my house for a week without power, I got to do it. If I have to shower in my backyard with a 5-gallon of water on my opening day, I have to do it. So believe me, you'll see pictures of my grand opening. You would never know what was going on in my life, because you have to want it. So that's my main thing to somebody who wants to start a business.
Well, you know, where can people find out more about your services and the location of your shop? Just let them know right there.
You could find us at 4800 South Maryland Parkway, just across from UNLV behind the Starbucks, Unit C. You could also find us on a website at www.aaprintinglasvegas.com. That's www.aaprintinglasvegas.com. You could find us on Facebook. You could find us on Twitter. You could find us on Instagram, and you could find us on LinkedIn. Just put in AA Printing, and you'll find us basically everywhere at the moment.
John, I want to thank you for being on the show this afternoon and taking time out of your busy day. I really appreciate you being here. For now, this is Dave Wright at the Business Lounge, wishing you much success.
Yeah.